Back in 2012, we could see that businesses around town some of them were struggling, and we saw other market towns where there was empty shops coming, and we didn't want the same to happen to Helmsley. So after discussion with Carolyn and a few other businesses, Helmsley Business was born, and we started with 20 businesses to help and promote the town and to encourage working together.
We've had the residents taking part in some quite bizarre things, really, some fun things. So we've had them doing knitting for the yarn bombs we've done, getting involved with events, voting for us in the Great British High Street. They've been very involved, or I should say maybe the other way around, we've been involved with their campaign to save the post office recently, so in numerous ways, and we get such lovely feedback from the residents. It makes it all worth doing. Well, we know from our measurements that we've got an increased footfall of 11%, and we see that ourselves. We see businesses expanding, we see them taking on new staff. We see more approaches from other towns for our help, and so on. Everyone acknowledges, not just in this region but also nationally.
With the Helmsley Business Group, I feel like we've brought more people to the town. People are more aware of Helmsley now because of all the PR that we do. The Great British High Street win, of course, was a massive thing. I think that's really put us on the map, and if it hadn't been for Helmsley Business, we wouldn't have done any of that.
Tarina and I, about 3 years ago, recognised the crisis of beach litter and marine waste, and we decided that we wanted to take action to try and sort it out, get hands on and tackle the waste. We decided to form a group of action volunteers and make sure that they were safe and train them and kit them out with the proper equipment and things like that. And we soon found that the group developed, and we decided that although we were coming together to tackle a beach at a time, we decided that each volunteer would adopt their own beach and look after that, and it's proved to be very successful. Shortly after we formed the group of action volunteers, that they each had friends, relatives that were less physically able and couldn't actually do their work on the beach, but were interested in the aims of the group and wanted to contribute somehow. We had already opened a fundraising shop, and they started to donate things that they had made, knitted, crocheted, book art and various other pieces of work, and Tarina decided to bring them into the shop to create a bit of interest, and it created a little bit of a community there.
I collect a lot of crafty people in the shop, and they do the crafts here or they do them at home, and I'll give them ideas of what to make, how to make it, how to turn something into something else rather than throwing it away.
WISH is a parent-led support group for families dealing with hidden impairments. We primarily cover Whitby and the Esk Valley, although we do have members from elsewhere. We also, although we're hidden impairments, we don't turn anybody away. So we've just got a member who has Down syndrome, and we've previously had children in wheelchairs. Being geographically rural as we are and cut off, a lot of families don't have access to, say, Scarborough or Middlesbrough, so it's easy for them to come here. A family in need is a family in need, regardless of of what the title is. At the moment, we've got about 50 families and probably 100 children, roughly. And so that's just in Whitby and the Esk Valley. Between them, there are over 45 different conditions that we're dealing with. Usually when they first come to us, we might be the first people they've ever come across that are also got issues or dealing with issues. So the sense of not being alone is huge. We had some parents when we started that would take everything. You know, they were so desperate, they needed help with everything. Those parents are now turning around and getting involved, and they're giving back. And you can actually, on some of them, you can just see the way they're coping better, their confidence is building. It's lovely. It's really, really nice to see, to be honest.